Welcome everybody, and a massive welcome to Amy. How are you doing, Amy?
All good, thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah, really great you can join us for this, for me, the first Palooza as well, and very much at the beginning of these first couple of days of webinars using Lumio, but absolutely nothing to do with me, which I think is brilliant. Actually, from yourself, Amy, and there's so many presentations that I'm looking forward to across the couple of days. Really great to have everyone joining in as well. So feel free to open up the chat, see who's in there, say hello, add any comments that you want to, say where you're from. But Amy, it'd be great to actually hear about yourself, introduce yourself, and really excited to kind of how you present.
Lovely. So hello everybody, my name is Amy Ince, and I am at Shyland Technology Primary School, which is in Birmingham in England. I have been at this school for, this is my third year here, but I've been teaching for about 8 years, mostly lower down the school, so I have a good knowledge between EYFS and Key Stage 1.
Fantastic. I'm just going to slightly translate that EYFS and Key Stage 1. We know what we're talking about. Early years foundation stage, so it's kind of 4, 5, 6, and then Key Stage 1, but as well, coming up to like 8-year-olds as well. It's 8 or 7. I always forget that one. So the younger 7. End of, younger 7 as well. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, there's some hellos coming on from around the world as well. So I'm just going to put the code to join in the chat as well. And then I think we'll add Amy's Lumio to the stage as well, and I'll go away again. And over to you, Amy. Really looking forward to it. Thanks very much.
Thank you. So as you can see, today I'm going to be having a chat with you guys all about how to use Lumio to support the transition between the early years foundation stage and year 1. So we will be looking at what the transition looks like, the problem and why Lumio can support and help it. Then I'm going to go through some demonstrations, some practical things that I use within my class. And then we can have a chat at the end and go through any questions that you might have. So the first thing I would, anybody joined would like to do is just answer this question for me. So why, let me just click. First day of year 1, how do you think children feel on the very first day of year 1? What do you think they are feeling? If you share your thoughts with me. Yeah, excited, absolutely. There is a lot of excitement when they come to year 1. I think they feel really grown up. Got another excited, yeah. It's like they're going to be, special. They're going to be in year 1. It's like the bigger part of the school. And absolutely nervous. I think they go from that play-based environment and they don't really know what's going to come. I think there's a lot of talk, you don't do as much playing in year 1, you don't do this. And it can be scary and it can be daunting for them. And that's basically why at our school here, we use Lumio. Yeah, overwhelmed, perfect. Yeah, I would completely agree with all of these for all of our children. I will say that our early years team at this school use Lumio incredibly well. So for our school, it's very consistent, the move from, in terms of using Lumio from early years into year 1. So as I go through this, I like that ready to see old friends. I think we all like that, don't we? When we come back in the summer, those faces that we haven't seen of those friend teachers. So I'm going to move on now. And basically what I would like to just discuss is that transition can be really daunting and it can be really, really exciting. And a lot of the things I'm going to go through today is actually around children with SEND, EAL learners, or children that thrive on routine. I think majority of the schools we're seeing in the UK, I don't know whether it's the same worldwide, we are seeing, higher levels of support needed for some children, higher levels of children with SEND, EAL, So it is really important that we adapt and we support those children, especially with these kinds of transitions. So what I would like to show you is how we keep the best elements of early years and we just prepare them for everything that they're going to be doing and achieving into year one and then beyond, really. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the visual timetable. I'm fairly sure we would all use some sort of visual timetable within our environments. At my school, we use the widgets, and that is consistent across the whole school. Now, early years do use this, but I just take it one step further because their timetable does look different to what they are used to. So at the start of the year, I would have the day as the timetable and we would discuss it together. And it's just a simple drag and drop, and then they can really see and visualize what their day is going to look like. So we have this on the board when they come in, ready for them to see, and then I will talk them through. So we'll have soda, phonics, then we'll do our writing, break time, and then maths. So that drag and drop aspect for the children is just so beneficial. It really, I don't know the word. It really, it ingrains what's going to happen today. They can see the next process. Now, at the start of the year, this is very much something that I do. As the year moved on, especially this year, I have particularly one child who just takes ownership of this themselves. This is a child with SEND who relies heavily on a visual timetable. So he then has the widgets back up at the top where they were, and they will be in the order for him, and he just will recite it and drag it down himself. And that just really helps him with anxiety around the timetable. He has control over it. It will also really support him with any changes that we might have. We all know that school days can be unpredictable. There is changes, there is staffing changes. I do often have this with the staff members face if it's a change for him. It's inevitable change, and the use of this visual timetable with them physically being able to do it, I find it really supports their independence, doing it themselves from what they've experienced in early years. Again, using a drag and drop, I'm sure you make good use of colourful semantics, and we use these alongside the widget symbols to support our literacy, our writing. So as you can see here, so this is a unit that we do on the Tiger Who Came to Tea. And as I'm fairly sure majority of you in the UK as well will have a big focus on oracy, an oracy-rich classroom. Before children can be expected to write, they do need to be able to say it, rehearse it, refine it, expand their vocabulary. And this will be done whole class, but also for those groups of children that need, to go over things again and need a little bit more support. And then we can structure the sentences together. So we've got who. So we could do the tiger. We do like a innovative story. So this is why there's a zebra there, because they might talk about the zebra who ate all the food in the kitchen. And we can keep rehearsing that. We can keep taking these back. Does it work that the tiger ate all the food from the tap? That doesn't work. So it gives them a real opportunity to play around with sentence structures. This will help them. This is what they do in early years. So this is just a straight continuation for our pupils. It really supports our EAL learners. My school is in a area of high deprivation with high levels of EAL children. So being able to orally rehearse is just, it's a necessity for our pupils. So once they have been able to orally rehearse this, And our pupils with SEND can also do this. It takes away that scariness of being able to having to say a sentence. They've got everything they need there. They've got the colours, they've got the vocabulary, and it's something that, because they've done in reception, when the level of writing is ramped up a little bit into year one, and the need for recording and getting it on paper for some pupils, this just really does help. So as you can see then, this is an innovation. So we would use the sentences that we've just previously looked at, and we would change it. So obviously we're now talking about a flamingo. And this is a little activity that you can create and you can complete now. So this is a fill in the blank. So they have the basic sentence structure there. And these words are phonetically decodable words to support them. And you can move your words into where you need them to go. So the flamingo, gobbled. So we've changed that vocabulary there from 8 to gobbled, just to give them a little bit more ownership of their own word, making it their own and expanding their vocabulary. So the flamingo gabbled all the cakes on the plate. And then you can check your answers. Now, I've used this for children who struggle to do the innovation. Those children that also might need a little bit more support once they've done it verbally, then they might need to see the sentences before they go and write them. And also, this could be some of the SEND children. I've got a fair few SEND children children with SEND in my classroom who are just fabulous verbally. They can come out with the most innovative stories, probably the most wonderful in my class, but they've struggled with the writing. So once we've moved on from that activity, filling in the blanks, we will then go to, again, we've got a drag and drop, and also where they can just write onto their writing frame. So we can use the sentence that we've just used, the flamingo gobbled all the cakes on the plate. And then again, this can be the children doing it. Putting it onto paper is much scarier for some of our year one children. And that's some of the things we identified at the start. It can be scary. But to write on oh no, that's just moved. I didn't click my pen. To be able to write is much easier in terms of anxiety and cognitive load on a whiteboard or a screen. That's not my best handwriting. Please don't judge me. It's much more, it's nicer for them. And then once they've done it on the whiteboard, then they're able to transfer it onto their paper in their books. However, a year one child is recording their work at this point in whatever point in the year. Okay, so in England, there is the big phonics screening check, which is, it's key to a lot of year one teachers. And, there is lots of websites that, we use to support us. But I'm going to just model an activity for you here, which is the super sort. And it's very similar to what you will see for Ob and Bob. So we have our alien words and we have our real words. So children, obviously, they look at the word, they say the sounds, t, e, m, team. And then they've got to decide whether it's an alien word or a real word. And they can just drag it and it will go to whether they were right or wrong. Now, I just find this much more beneficial than some of the online games, because this can be really, really personalized. Towards the end of, as we were approaching the phonics screening check, I think you'll always find there's those sounds that just don't stick for a lot of children. So this was just, I was able to personalize this to what individual children needed. This game and the next game that I am going to show you was actually one that I would just leave out independently. I had a focus group of children. My TA had another focus group of children. And then there was the other children that I needed to keep engaged, but they still needed to make their progress and embed all of their phonics knowledge. And both of these games were they were highly engaging for them, but they were really purposeful. And because I could personalize them, it was just really beneficial. And they have done these activities throughout the year. So they were just being able to carry on with them. There was some doing it on the big whiteboard. And then there was some doing it on different work games on laptops as well. So they were all being able to make progress. So the second game is probably every year, this is the one that my children like the most. So you can select just one player, but we do this in teams. And it is just real word and matching the picture. So they will click on the picture. And another one, oh, look at me. That was lucky. So they just match in the picture to the word. We all know this game. This is a game that we can't take it for granted, but a lot of our children will play at home. Many of our children would not play this sort of game at home. So it is something that you would have to teach first, depending on where your school is, really. I do have different versions of this game. So this is like matching the real word to the pictures. I have these for split digraphs because we know those can be tricky at first. I have another one which I tend to give to my really able children, and that is alternative alien words. So you might have the word, I can't think of a word now, but it might have like quish with the I, and then you might have, I can't think of one now. You know what I mean? Like different spellings of alien words, and they have to match those. That is a little bit more challenging, but it does go down really, really well with the children. So now this is something that I have only just started doing this year, and I put this at the start of every lesson for maths, and this is flip out. So this one I have used for subitizing. So it's a really quick retrieval. So they click on it, they have to say 3. They click on it, I don't have my glasses on, but 8, and again 5. So it's that really quick retrieval skill. So it doesn't take long and doesn't eat much into your maths lesson, but it's that constant rehearsal of concepts, just really getting it into their long-term memory. I do have these for subitizing, addition, like number bonds, number facts. So I'd have some that have got like 4 + 6, and they'll just be like 10. I'd hope they say 10 anyway. And subtraction. So this is really easy to just have in every single math slide each day. This is something that they do definitely use in early years for their maths lessons. Again, for similar concepts. Now, this is the all-time favorite, the game show. So I tend to use this. I always use it at the end of a topic for an end of topic assessment. And I use it as a scaffold, really. So I've got, sometimes it will be whole class. Start of the year, it will be whole class. At this point, the end of topic will look very different in my classroom for different learners. Some are able to complete this and their end of topic by answering questions in their books. Other children, and it's not even necessarily my greater depth children, my high ability children. Some of those will also be doing it via the game show. And it's just really good to check their previous learning. Retrieval, I will also do the odd retrieval from a topic that we will have learnt at the start of the year. Or I know our year 2 teachers will use these to review topics from year 1. So this is in 2 teams. So they will just spin the wheel. And it comes up. So this was a science topic that we did. Why does a flower need its leaves? Obviously, I will be reading this a lot of the time to some of my pupils. Like I said, it's not always just my children with SEND or my EAL learners. It will be a mix. But why does a flower need its leaves? We'll go through the answers. And I'm going to just check I got the right one. Let me just, and I got it right. And then it would be the next person's go. So then the little man moves over, spins his wheel. And what job does the stem have for a flower? Again, I hope I get it right. It's just a really, really engaging way to just check their retrieval knowledge. It builds their confidence. It also encourages children to take part. I do have a child in my classroom who we're looking at things, but I'm going towards environmental mutism. He would not stand up and give me this answer. He would not offer anything. But if I put this up there, he's quite a bright child. He will read this and he will answer it. And I might even get a smile, which is really nice and rare for this child. It doesn't feel like a formal assessment for them. It doesn't feel like I'm testing them. I'm checking their knowledge. It just feels like a fun, like a game show, which is exactly what it is. So this one I love, but I don't do it too often because I don't want them to be get bored of it.
Just on that on there, those are awesome examples, Amy. Just to add to that on there, the question here is, are you playing these games on individual devices or just at the front? And how do you kind of manage that balance of this one's at the front, this one's in devices? Can you just expand for that for a moment?
Yeah, so at the start of the year, when I first introduce it, I do know that our early years teams have done this this year. I do know that for sure. So hopefully they will have seen my new class, because I am in year one again next year, will already have an idea of how this works. But at the start of the year, it would be whole class. And I would just choose a few children and I'd keep it quite short. It would only be like maybe 6 questions, so 3 each. And then like I'm saying, at this point in the year where I have got, I'm guessing a lot of year one children classes, you've got a wide spectrum. You've got children who are able to work independent, and you've still got those children that really are working around those early learning goals, really. And I will have those as a small group. So I haven't actually ever done this as like a lesson that they complete on their own devices. I have not done that yet. And maybe that is something I would try to go to for next year, depending on the cohort. I hope that answers the question.
No, that's brilliant. Thank you.
So this is the another one, and this is just a drag and drop. And it's only this year, really, that I have made use of the manipulatives that are already embedded with Lumio. When I was looking at my maths slides that I'd been used the previous years, I had screenshot these coins and put them in. And then I was like, I don't know why I did that. This is all here for you. So, and we've not long just done this topic where they would just sort these into pounds and pence. I would change these and I'd say be like 10p or like 50p, and they have to try and make them. But I think it's just a reminder that the manipulatives that are already there make my life easier. And I think anything that a teacher can have to make their life easier is worth its weight in gold. And then another one that's already programmed for us is the tens frame. So here you would have, and we've all used a lot of 10 frames with the double-sided counters. And I could do this in multiple different ways. I would give them the addition sentence. They would have to make it and find the answer. I could give them the answer within the tens frames, and then, oh, it's not liking my finger. and then they would have to write the answer. This I do as a teacher handout when they have their own devices. We are, like I said, we are a technology primary school, so we do have devices for each child. I am fully aware that not every school will have that. The school I came from previously did not have this. So I do feel very lucky that my pupils are able to really engage in the activities that we've set, and that they're used to from reception as well. I feel that was like a really whistle-stop tour. I hope I didn't talk too quick and you all understood what I was saying. So what my biggest takeaway for you all today is that really the transition doesn't mean leaving early years behind. As I said, all of these activities and ways of using Lumio has already been embedded within our early years. They might not look exactly the same as they come to year one, but they are used to this layout. They are used to writing on the board, the drag and drops, the games. And then, those children with SEND, EAL, or just any child really, they continue to benefit from the visual supports that Lumio offers. We're able to embed it within the oral rehearsal to support our oracy, their exploration, and the interactive learning. It just helps us for them to take the approaches that we've got in early years and just adapt and tweak them for year one to be able, for those pupils to be able to, increase their independence. And that is a lot of what year one is about. It's just embedding those skills, tweaking them, and that becoming independent with them. They come from early years being able to read, to blend, to be able to write, but it's just that level of independence and applying the new skills independently. So, yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions, and thank you for taking your time out your day to listen to me. Thank you.
Amy, that was brilliant. I know I'm just going to start with the comments here saying thanks for the inspiration. I think it's exactly that. I mean, that was in relation to using these coins and how to use them in different ways.
Yeah.
But that, for me, that real takeaway is it's not just seeing your visual timetable. I think it's all well and good having the blue tack ones and seeing it at the front of the class.
Yeah.
But actually, for that one learner that needs to then move those objects because he needs the ownership of his own timetable.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
still somebody else's if somebody's moving it. I remember in my class, there was always those few children, I want to come and do the timetable today. But giving them the ownership, they can do their own timetable. And if they don't want to, if they can move it, it's theirs. And I think that's really powerful. And then you've just shown us so many different examples of how the learner can be involved with it, how they can move and do and be part of it. And it's not just one person. So that's the inspiration. That's the massive takeaway I've got for myself. So thank you so much.
The one child, I think we all know the benefit of how much a visual timetable can support learners. But this one child who was fairly nonverbal at the start of the year, where now he just talks continuously, but it is about his visual timetable. But within that, we've been able to extend his sentence structure because he's got that ownership. And the first thing he does, he just comes and recites it as he moves it down. So it's definitely something that I will be using for those children that need that. That will be my first and foremost thing to start with them in September.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. So just a question that's popped up here. For a game where the students put the words and non-words, like the alien and real words, into categories, are you able to put them in the words in incorrect categories?
Let me just show you. So here we've got flope. So if I put it into the real words, it doesn't let you. So it sort of shakes it and takes it back. So then they might well have just mispronounced it, or they might not have blended properly. So then they can just try again and go to the flope. For that, though, I do find, and it's the same with like the online games, that a lot of times they might just guess, but because the children that I've got this, when they're doing it independently, they kind of would know that if it bounced back, they might not have said it right. So then they know to try again before they put it in the alien words. So it
Can you
might
just click on the
not.
view progress at the top as well? So it's just
Yeah.
from a teacher's point of view, actually, you can see here how they're getting on. And if you click on student progress as well, you can actually see that how the students are getting on. So you've got that feedback. So if they are just randomly sorting it, you will see here. But you can see out of the ones that have participated here,
Which
I think
ones?
Zara and Drew have definitely gone the best on there as well. So
Well done, Zara
you can
and Drew.
see how they're doing. No, brilliant. Thanks for that question, and thanks for answering that one. Now, just another one that's coming through as well. I've been using with my students for Lumio, and they're loving it. It also helps with the classroom management engagement as well. And I think that's exactly what we're saying with Amy here as well.
Yeah.
That engagement and the students being involved is key as well. So I'm just going to pop up one other one as well. Do you use audio support? Do you get your students to record in any other ways, or just with their fingers and pens, or?
I will be honest, I've never actually tried that. But that would be something I'd need to try because that sounds amazing.
Yeah, so with Lumio itself, just to kind of go off slightly, when you're on a whole class page like the coins or something, you can actually attach audio. So students can type it in if they're able to, or they can just click on it, attach audio, and then they can actually give that oral answer as well. And then that is recorded. That is then saved in your Lumio lesson as well. So you've got there the choice of how the students are answering.
Now that is what I'm going to do this afternoon, because that would be brilliant for a lot of my children.
We've got that as well. Now, Amy and I love the fact that it's UK coins here as well. Of course, there are other coins as well. I'm not going to say all coins. I can see someone's asked for Canadian coins as well. Smart Lumio are a Canadian company, so I think Canadian coins were in there first. I know US coins and euros are as well. And anything else, if you are wanting any other digital manipulatives in this sense here, you can make your own. The creation within Lumio of copying, pasting images, anything from there is really easy to put into that as well. So there aren't any other questions that have popped through, Amy, on this as well. Are there any final thoughts, or?
No, I just hope it's been beneficial for everybody.
Yeah, no, it really has. So on behalf of myself and the whole Lumio team, Amy, that was amazing. I know we've learned so much, and I'm really looking forward to that as well. And I think a lot of people that haven't joined the live sessions from sleeping or whatever will really look forward to catching up on this one. Thank you, everybody else, so much for joining as well. I've just added a big comment in the chat here itself as well. There's a few links. Firstly, Amy would love your feedback, and tell her how amazing she is. That link is in there as well. Feel free to put that as well. As well as your certificate for attendance, that link is in there itself. The recordings will be sent out. Comments gone into 2 comments I've just noticed. The recordings will be posted onto YouTube soon, as long as we've kind of gone through and got them all there as well. And of course, there are loads of other sessions that are coming throughout the next couple of days. So feel free to register for more, see more as well. I know a colleague of Amy, is also doing another session this afternoon as well. So I know I'm really looking forward to that. And then finally, there is a social challenge as well. So if you want to share your findings on social media, we'd love to see that. Attach videos, attach pictures, whatever you want might be. It's at Lumio Social for all that as well. And if you use the hashtag LumioPalooza26, you automatically be entered into a prize draw. And that will be a $25 US e-gift of your choice. And we'll send that once it's all finished as well. But coming to a bit of a close, Amy, that was really useful, really insightful to all the ways you use it in your classroom. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your preparation for this as well and your delivery. It is fantastic. Thank you, everybody else. And we'll leave it. Thanks all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.